y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Spring 2019 Coquette collection available right now from Cuccio Colors. These were sent to me for review from Cuccio, but they are also available on the HB Beauty Bar. I'll link them down below. I know I'm a little bit behind on this review, but if you're looking for more summery colors, stay tuned because I will be releasing their Summer 2019 collection up on Friday. So first up, we're going to start with a Flirt, and I'm super excited to see a nice white cream in this collection, and plus how readily affordable it is. I'm going to go ahead and show you how Flirt applied for me on my natural nail. So there is a look at that first easy coat. These creams are very user friendly, super easy to use. They're not going to pull and flood on you, and they're not too thick or too thin. One coat was just shy of being completely opaque, so I am going to go ahead and complete this with a second coat. I think just solid white nails is such a hot look for summer, and especially if you're looking for a good base for nail art. So here is a look at that completed mini of Flirt at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. So these do dry down nice and glossy, and then here is a quick view from a different angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up we have Left Wanting More, and this is described as an all natural beige cream. So this is another gorgeous nude. It's going to fit perfectly into almost anybody's collection. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it applied for me on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, really no issues with the formula here. It just goes on nice and smooth. It's not completely opaque in just one. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this, let it dry down, and then show you how it builds up with a quick second coat. So here is a look at that second coat. 2 coats is easily going to bring this polish completely opaque. Again, no issues. It does dry down gorgeously glossy. I think this is a very work appropriate nude, and I think it's going to be really flattering across any shade. It has just enough warmth in there to match my skin tone and not bring out any of the lobster hands or any of those issues at all. So I did do a little bit of cleanup there with acetone and a cleanup brush, but here is a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then really quickly from a different view, a different angle underneath that same lighting. So next up is Bite Your Lip, and this one is described as a lukewarm nude cream. So if you're looking at that last nude and thinking, oh no, it's just a little bit too light for me, this one may be right up your alley. Again, it is very warm, kind of almost pink tones in there. Here's a look at that first easy coat. This one does go on nice and creamy, really easy. I did go in a little bit thicker here, and again, didn't have any issues with flooding at all. It's not completely opaque, however. I'm going to let it dry and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. So here's a look at my second and final coat, and this does its job and gets us all the way to a full coverage. Again, gorgeous glossy finish. This one, I think all of the colors in this collection are just like a shade off each other, so you don't necessarily need to get all of them, but definitely get the ones that speak to you, especially at this price point. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then really quickly from a different angle under that same lighting. So next up we have Wink, and this one is described as a delicate yet dusty pink cream. So for my girls who are looking at those nudes and just wishing they were a touch more pink, this is the shade for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how it applies for me on my natural nail. 1 coat makes for a very classy and clean look. I do have a little bit of visible nail line peeking through, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. 2 coats, again, no surprise here. It does bring this polish to full coverage with no issues and a gorgeous glossy finish. So here's a look at that completed mini at just 2 coats. I'm loving this one on my skin. And then even before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and this is my final swatch photo at a different angle under that same lighting. Next up we have Hair Toss, and this is, first off, I love the name. This one is described as a soft eucalyptus cream. So this one does have a touch almost of pistachio in there. It's almost kind of like a putty color. So here is a look at that first easy coat. Again, pretty much the same formula across the board here. You don't have to worry about going in too thick or too thin. 1 coat is going to make for a nice even base. However, I do have a little bit of visible nail line, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it up with a quick second coat. 2 coats does bring this polish to a full coverage. I did have to go in with acetone and a cleanup brush just to get that out of my cuticles there, but I had no stainings and it didn't like want to hang out in there or anything. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then really quickly from a different angle under that same lighting. Next up is Follow Your Butterflies, and this polish is described as a tranquil cool blue cream. So this one I think is in my top picks. If you can only get 2 from this collection, I'd recommend Flirt and Follow Your Butterflies. So this one is almost like a steely gray, but it's not so in your face, very classic looking. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, nice base, not complete coverage. I'm going to go ahead and build up with a quick second coat, and 2 coats does make for full opacity. Just a gorgeous even cool toned base. And even though this polish is cool toned, it did not bring out the ugly red tones in my hands. I thought it was still really flattering. So here's a look at that completed mani. I had 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and once more from a different angle under that same artificial lighting. So we're going to finish out the collection today with a Take Your Breath Away. And again, so you can see these are gorgeous pastels. They're almost just a little bit, a touch or a hair away from each other. But Take Your Breath Away is described as a powdery purple cream, so very pastel in here. I think that this is another shade that you can absolutely wear all year long, though I can see this being super appropriate in the winter as well. 2 coats is all you need for full coverage. These do dry down nice and glossy and fairly quickly, so application is a breeze. Here is a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then really quickly from a different angle under that same lighting. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Coquette collection. Again, these are available anywhere that carries Cuccio colors. I'll link my favorite store down below, HB Beauty Bar. If you're interested, I will have those summer neons up on Friday, so check back if you'd like to see those. And that's all I have. So if you'd like to see more, you can also follow me on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you on Wednesday.